All right, everybody, this is what we're making today. I can't say enough awesome things about this. I injected 1 pound of smoked beef tallow into a USDA choice brisket. Let's see how it comes out. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Kitchen Science. Today on the channel, we're gonna go ahead and cook another brisket. Wait, hold on. You're gonna cook another brisket. Didn't you just do like 3 brisket videos in a row, and aren't there like a ton on YouTube right now? Can't you be more creative and maybe do something else? Now, hold on there just a minute, buddy. I know what you're saying. We've done a lot of brisket cooks on the channel, and there's a lot of people doing brisket cooks right now, but I kind of want to walk everybody through what I've learned. I've maybe cooked 20 or 30 of these in my life, and in the last, say, 6 months, I've probably cooked about half of those. So what I've been able to do and what I've been able to learn, I kind of want to share with everybody, but at the same time, I want to try to give back. There's a lot of people online that I have personally watched on YouTube, so I could learn all about how to do this even better. And I want to sort of give them their props. Add Scientist BBQ, Smoke Trails, Chuds BBQ, How to BBQ Right. The list goes on and on and on. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put a list down in the description of all of the wonderful pit masters that I've watched that have helped me get this craft a little bit better. And the beautiful thing is I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and so I wanted to sort of showcase those mistakes, but at the same time, what I've learned from them. So the cook that we're doing today is going to do just that. It's going to showcase what I've learned, not only by doing this, but what I've learned from those other pit masters as well, and kind of incorporate it all into one video to just kind of get it all out there. All right, well, that does sound nice, and it sounds like that's a good thing that you can go ahead and do, but hasn't this kind of thing already been done? I mean, do we really need to go through this again? Yes, we definitely need to go through this, and we definitely need to go ahead and walk through all the steps. This is what they want to learn about. Is it leaving the fat cap on, or is it trimming it down to 1/4 of an inch? Is it injecting it with smoked beef tallow, or is it, not doing that and maybe buying higher quality product? What's kind of the give and take here? Okay, fine. Go ahead and teach them what you've learned and all the mistakes that you've learned along the way and how you've kind of gotten past those mistakes and how you've been able to make this product better. All right, everyone, apologies for that interruption we had with that other rude person, but let's go ahead and get to the brisket. So this is a Packer style brisket. It weighs 11.5 pounds. I picked it up from my local Wild Fork at, I think, $3.96 a pound. So it's got the full point sitting on it, including the mohawk. It's got the flat on it. This is a choice brisket, and I purposely bought a choice one on purpose because I think some of the things that I've learned throughout my brisket cooking journey here on YouTube and prior is that there's some things we can do to this choice brisket to make it even better, to get it closer to like maybe a prime brisket or a prime dry aged brisket, or even if we can be lucky enough to go ahead and get it up to a Wagyu style. I don't think we're going to get there, but I think that some of these tips, tricks, and techniques I've kind of learned throughout the way that I'm going to show you today can definitely help it so that you can go to the grocery store, so that you can go to Wild Fork, Costco, Sam's Club, etc. You can pick up one of these, you can kind of do some of these techniques to it, and you can make it better so that it is more similar to that high-end barbecue that you've had from the beloved pit masters whose restaurants and whose carts you've gone to go ahead and eat at before. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and start. So let's go over our first tip. First tip is when you pull the brisket out of the fridge, you want to cut it up immediately. You want this guy to be cold. Not freezing cold, but cold. You want to be able to lift it up and it not give you much bend. I like to make a little pop to let some air in. And then as I do that, I try to cut only the brisket out. That way I can leave all of that juice in there. Let's just call it juice for now. Okay, 3, there's still excess liquid on here. So we want to go ahead and we want to get some of that excess liquid off. Now what we're going for here is we want on the flat side, which is from about here over, we want anywhere from 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch thick of fat on top. Because as you can tell by looking at this, this is not the greatest flat we've ever seen. And when you have these extra little straggler pieces here, it's good just to go ahead and get them off in the beginning so that you can see exactly what you're doing. So if you notice here, this is plenty of fat right here, but up here we need to go ahead and trim it off. And then we need to make our piece a little more aerodynamic. As you can see though, I still have a big chunk of decal sitting right in here, so I want to go ahead and take that off as well. Remember, this is a choice brisket, so it's not going to have a ton on here. This is another piece right here. This is part of the mohawk. We want to go ahead and take this off as well. So hold on to it like so, find your line, and just take it off. That's pretty much that. This is all just pure fat. Look, I can take that big thick chunk right out right there. And that's what it looks like. But you'll notice we're starting to get into a little bit more. So I want to start taking not as thick cuts. Remember, the goal here is to still keep this guy about 1/4 of an inch thick. So here's our large fat piece that we have sitting here. So what we want to do is just kind of start taking this off until we've gotten a nice thin cap. And again, on the flat, which is the side that we're on right now, I want to try to keep this about 1/3 of an inch thick. Like, that looks pretty good to me. I'd say we're pretty good on this side with the brisket. Let's go ahead and flip it over. So that looks great. So now we want to take a little bit of the silver skin off, because the silver skin, what it's going to do, it's going to cause everything to sort of squeeze up. It'll cause the brisket to come together kind of like that. And honestly, this is not a bad choice brisket. It really, really isn't. I've seen much, much worse. All right, everybody, and now we're on to tip number 5. And tip number 5 is smoked beef tallow. A few weeks ago, I'll put a card right up here. I did a video on how to make smoked beef tallow from beef brisket scrap. This is it. It can sit for a long time in your fridge, definitely many, many months. But the trick to using this stuff is you want to pull it out of your refrigerator the night before so that it can get nice and soft, so that you can fill this guy up. So let's go ahead and get this guy filled up, and then I'll walk you through the injection process. All right, so we've got our tallow filled into our syringe. We're now gonna put the cap on. Remember, when you do this, you wanna leave about 1/4 of an inch fat. All right, so here's our nice trimmed up brisket. When I did the last injected brisket with smoked beef tallow, I told you guys to go ahead and go through here. And I kind of made a mistake when I did that. There we go. All right, so again, take the tip, push it all the way in. Notice it has not come out the bottom. Give it a little push until you start to see movement. I see movement there. All right, so I just went ahead and squeezed in more than half of the syringe into one area. And if you look right here, this is kind of bulbous right here. It's kind of hard to see, but it all got trapped sitting inside of this one area. A little touch of it came out right here. But if I go underneath and I look underneath, there is nothing there. All right, and that's it. We've used all 20 ounces of our tallow. With the remaining stuff that we have left on here, we want to go ahead and rub it all in. And we do this so that when we do our seasoning sticks a little better. All right, everybody, as usual, we are doing our standard ratio of 2 parts black pepper, 1 part kosher salt, 1/2 part of garlic powder. Making sure to put on an even coat, making sure to get the sides, then flip it over. And that's that. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fire up the egg. All right, everybody, we just went ahead and set up our Egg Genius. So this is our fan, this is our pit probe, this is our temperature probe. We've got all of our electronics and battery backup sitting in here. As you can hear, it's blowing air right now. All right, so this is our Egg app. If you're gonna use Egg Genius app, if you're gonna use this, you need to go ahead and sign in. So that's my controller. You can see our pit is set for 225 degrees. This is the temperature that it is right now. Our fan output is pushing out 22%. We can actually hear it down there. And our meat temp doesn't really matter right now because it's not in the meat yet. It's still sitting inside. So let's go ahead and let's get the egg up to temp. Oh yes, one more little thing. Once you've set one of these up down here and you've set all of the temperatures that you want to open up the flue and let all this white smoke go ahead and come out until it turns blue. The Egg Genius will go ahead and set up the temp to where it wants, and it'll set it up so that all this blue smoke ends up turning all this white smoke ends up turning blue. We will then close this to the point where it's about a skewer open. I can show you what that looks like, and then it is done and it is ready to go. All right, everybody, so our egg's up to temp. We're 225 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna shut our top flue and about the thickness of a skewer. This is our meat. We've got our probe sitting right in here. I've pushed it all the way in this way, so it's probably sitting somewhere here around the center. Remember, we probably put close to 16, 17 ounces worth of tallow inside of here, and the remaining few ounces that we had in that jar, we rubbed all over the sides and the back before we put our bark on. From the trimming process, this is about 2.5 pounds of scrap. I'm going to take this and I'm either going to turn it into burgers or sausage. We eat quite a bit of that around here. If you guys want to see how I do that, please go ahead and leave a comment down below. But for now, we want to go ahead and we want to get the brisket on the egg. It's ready to go ahead and go. We got a lot of blue smoke coming out, and we're going to let it sit here for the first few hours until we get up to a temperature around 170. I'm then going to come out here and I'm going to foil boat it and let it continue to sit here until it gets up to about 200 degrees. I'm then going to leave it in the foil. I'm going to wrap it in peach paper or butcher paper, We're gonna pop it into our toaster oven and we're gonna let it go overnight, and we're gonna slice it up tomorrow morning for lunch that I'm having with some of my colleagues at work. So please go ahead and stay tuned. For you, this will be a mere moments, but for me, this is gonna be an entire day. Make sure to always put the thickest part in the back. That's where most of the heat goes ahead and comes up for in the egg. And make sure that when you set up your deflector plate, you've got a gap open sitting back there. All right, everybody, we are at temp. Let's see how this guy looks. Oh, look at that. That looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie, this has got to be one of the better ones that I've made. Let's go see what our temps look like. But that bark looks fantastic. All right, let's see what we're doing. Oh, not bad. Oh my God, that point is perfect. Everything is just perfect. So I've got 2 sheets of foil here. We want to lift this guy up, pop it onto here, and then we want to sort of crimple it all the way around. I use 2 sheets so that I can try to keep in all that juice that's going to show up. Oh, that's warm. Well, look at that. It's already super nice and jiggly. Now we foil boat so that we can continue to keep all the juice and still continue to get a really nice bark. We're gonna go ahead and bump up the temp to 285, and we're gonna let it go until she finishes hitting 200 degrees. All right, everyone, we are at temp. We're at 204 degrees. Oh, look at that. Like butter. Let me give you a better shot. Like nothing, right? There's nothing going on there. Oh my goodness, is that amazing? So this is what we're going for here. This is perfect. I could not be happier with how easy this goes in. I'm barely even trying. It's barely a push. Let's go ahead and get it off. Let's get it wrapped and get it in our toaster oven. All right, everyone, so here's our brisket. We just pulled it off. It is nice and warm. Instead of pulling this out of here and putting it on the peach paper and wrapping it up and letting it go, I'm gonna leave it in the aluminum foil and I'm gonna wrap it so that it stays up. But I wanted to show you this, just to show you where we're sitting right now from that fat. Look at that. I mean, the jiggle factor on here, it's ridiculous how jiggly it actually is. So let's try to keep as much of this in here as we can when we wrap this guy up. But this is a new thing I want to try. I want to see how it does. So we fold it like so. And like so, and then here comes the hard part. I'm gonna roll this like this. Okay, roll it back like so. All right. And here's our piece. This is going to end up going in our toaster oven overnight. This brisket has been sitting for about 16 hours now in my toaster oven at 140 degrees. And as you can see, it's nice and dripping wet. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's the flat, and it's that jiggly. Look at that. Oh my God, that's amazing. Look at how jiggly that is. So this is what we want today. So let's go ahead and pull it out of here. Let's go ahead and let's get it out of our foil. This is my point side, this is my flat side, so I'm gonna cut right here. And remember, we injected over 1 pound of smoked beef tallow into this, so let's see how it looks. Oh yeah, look at that. That juice coming out of there. Here is this. Oh yeah, I don't want to squeeze too much, but this looks great. That looks fan-freaking-tastic. All right, everybody, there we go. Let's go ahead and start with the burn ends first. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look how awesome that is. This is all just from injecting tallow. This is a choice brisket. It's not supposed to be this juicy. Let's try it out. Look at that. That looks amazing. Wow. I mean, wow. That flavor is amazing. I gotta go in for another one. Let's look at the beautifully rendered yellow fat. Got a little bit of a smoke ring there. This is really, really good. I definitely recommend you guys go ahead and get yourself a choice brisket, make some smoked beef hell. The card is up here, and go ahead and make this. This was totally worth it. It was fantastic. All right, let's get some flat. Look at that. That's a flat. It's got a little bit of point left on it, but it's almost gone. This is all flat. This is amazing. I can't say enough. Let's go ahead and try it out. I mean, it falls right apart. My goodness, that's good. All right, that's what we did. That's what we made. If you guys have any comments, please go ahead and put them down below. If you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe so you can see more fun content that we have going on this channel. And as always, have a fantastic barbecue week.